This conference will now be recorded.
Since there's very less crowd today, so I'll keep the session little short and sweet, guys. So probably we'll try to do for an hour or so. Okay, so so in the last class, guys, so we were playing around with the variables. Okay, so we were playing around with the variables, and as a part of it, okay, I've done a registration script. Okay, if you remember. Okay, I hope you are able to see the screen, guys. All of you. I hope you are able to see the screen. Can one of you please confirm? Yeah, thank you. Okay, there are only few people. I expect you to be totally active. Okay, so as you can see here, the username, I have generated a alphanumeric number, okay, which is random. Okay, so you see a random string is I've generated and a random number is generated, and I've used the alphanumeric random string generate. I mean, a random alphanumeric number is generated for the username. Okay, so we could use the same thing for the phone number as well. We can generate a random number. Usually the phone number is a 10-digit number, so you can generate a random 10-digit number. I'm going to quickly show you how to generate a random 10-digit number. So again, you can go to the functional help. Okay, maybe just search for this function called random. Okay, and you want a 10-digit number, random number. The lowest 10-digit number is probably 111111. Okay, so you see, count it, how many it is, how many digits. 3 3 6 3 9 10. Okay, 10, usually a phone number is 10-digit, so that's what it should be. And the maximum number, let's assume this is what is the maximum number. So a random number is generated between this number and this number. Typically a phone number will be a 9-digit number. So I've said, assume that this is the lowest 9-digit number, or yeah, this is the lowest 9-digit number. That's what I've assumed, and this is the highest 9-digit number, and a random number will be generated between these two numbers, and that's what I want. So you can say generate and copy. You see, whenever you say generate, you see a random number is getting generated. Okay, this is what a phone number would be. So you say generate and copy, and instead of phone number, probably you can give that number over here. Okay, you can give that function over here. Okay, so a random phone number will be generated like this. Okay, this is how we can use the functions, guys. This is how we can use the functions. Are we clear, guys? All of you? Are we clear, all of you? Yeah, Narendra, Scott. Okay, I want everybody to be active, guys. Thank you. Okay, so this is how different functions can be used, and this is how I mean, you can take those functions from this helper. Okay, and then generate the not help. Okay, sorry. Okay, from this helper. Okay, function helper dialog box, and then generate the function and use it elsewhere. Okay, so there's a bunch of functions that you can play around. As I proceed further, if there is anything that I mean use it, I'll definitely try to use it from this. Maybe you can do a Google search to see how each one can be used. So some of them which are important, I'll try to cover at the later point of time. But for each one in an example, you can use it. I mean, at the later point of time, I'll try to cover some of the functions, but I would expect you to play around with most of them. Okay, maybe in the interview they would ask you like what are the scripting challenges that you have faced. So probably whatever you have played around here, that you can project it as a scripting challenges, okay. So uh, okay, so that's what I have. That's how you can use the functions, guys. Okay, it was just a recap. Okay, now so now we'll do a little more into, however, we are discussing about the variables. So we have discussed about the global variable. So whatever you define in the user defined variables, these are global variables. So let me ask you a question. Okay, if I declare a global variable, let's say var1. Okay, if I declare a global variable called var1. Okay, and here I have two scripts. Okay, I have two scripts. One is purchase product. Okay, so let me move this here, and one is registration. I have these two scripts. So how do I know? I mean, when I set a script, it will be a thread group, guys. Okay, purchase a product, it's one thread group. Registration, it's one thread group. So I have these two scripts, purchase a product and registration. So I have these two scripts. Okay, so I have defined a variable in the user defined variables. So this is what we can call it as a global variable. Now option 1, I can use this variable only in this particular thread group, which is purchase the product. Okay, somewhere over here. Okay, I can use this var1, var3 is a global variable that I have declared. Okay, so I can use it only in the purchase of product thread group. Okay, so or option 1, option 2, I can use it only in this registration thread group. Okay, option 3, I can use it anywhere, both in this one as well as this one. Which one is there? Option 1 or option 2 or option 3? Wonderful, guys. So you can once you define it as a global variable, I can use it over here, I can use it over here, or if I created one more thread group, I can use it there as well. Okay, I can use it there as well. Wonderful, guys. Okay, so now okay, typically when you declare a global variable, okay, var1, var2, var3 generally I've given, but in the real world, Kumar, can you tell me one instance where we define a global variable? Okay, so I'll give you one instance where almost in every script, every performance tester will use it. Okay, so this IP address, you see this server name or IP is same for every single sampler. Okay, if you go to any sampler, it will be same. Okay, it will be same. You see, this is launch, you have the same server name. Okay, click, you have the same server name. Okay, login sampler, okay, you have the same server name. Everywhere the server name is same. Okay, you would have noticed that. Okay, so typically these kind of things, which is the server name or the IP address, you drive it from the variables. Usually you add a variable called URL, okay, and give the URL over here. Okay, so now you see URL, you have declared a variable called URL, and what is the value that you have given for that variable? Demo.kecker-monitoring.net. okay, which is the same thing here. I've just copied this one, okay, and this is repeating in every single sampler if you have noticed. Okay, and then I've given it over here. Okay, and instead of the value, okay, now instead of demokecker.monitoring.net, so you give the variable name here. You give the variable name here. Okay, you give the variable name. So is this okay, guys, or any changes needs to be done? I've declared this URL variable, okay, and given the value demokecker, and wherever the demokecker.net is there, I've replaced it with the variable. So I'm using the variable. Is this the syntax to use it, or if not, what is the syntax, guys? Quickly type it and give it. Let me know. Yeah, give me the complete sentence. Okay, I want everybody to give me the syntax, guys, quickly. Okay, so if it was a load runner, if you have declared a parameter and you want to use the parameter, just the flower braces would have been okay. But in Jmeter, you have to use the dollar symbol as well. You have to use the dollar symbol as well. So not only here, but wherever the demo kicker is there, okay, you need to change in every single sampler. You need to change it in every single sampler. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so I don't want it to change it everywhere possible. I'll change it at certain places, guys. Okay. Okay, so the idea is you need to change it at every single place. The idea is you change it at every single on every single sampler. You're supposed to change it. I changed in few of them. The expectation is you change it in everywhere. Change on every single sample. Wonderful. So Kumar, I'm happy with this. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with this. But I mean, what is the whole purpose of creating a variable and assigning the value to it and then replacing it every single sampler? Without doing this as well, my script is working fine. Okay, without doing this as well, my script is working totally fine. But what is the purpose of doing this? Okay, why do we have to do this? Any idea, guys? Anybody wants to unmute themselves and let me know? Okay, wonderful. Anil says it's for different environments. Okay, so when we are, I mean, in the earlier classes we understood that. Okay, when we talk about when we talk about software, okay, there could be different environments. Okay, there could be different environments. Okay, so performance testing is done in which environment, guys? Performance testing is done in which environment? Performance testing is done in which environment? Quickly tell me. Performance testing is done in which environment? Okay, Abhijit says pre-prod, Diva says pre-prod, Narendra says pre-prod. Okay, okay. Usman says production like environment. Okay, usually it is done in performance testing environment. Okay, so if a company cannot afford a separate performance testing environment, it is done in pre-production. Okay, pre-production environment, which is very common as well. But typically a separate environment called performance testing environment will be created, and performance testing is done in that environment. If a company is not able to what do you say, cannot afford a separate environment just for performance testing, it can be done in pre-production. Okay, it is not a production but a pre-production environment. Okay, so manual testing is done in, okay, QA environment. Okay, development is done in dev environment. Okay, so like this, different people have their own environments, guys. Different people have their own environments when you go to a real-time world. Okay, there could be a pre-production environment where user acceptance testing is usually done, or code is deployed into pre-production before actually going into the actual production. Okay, performance testing is done in performance testing environment, QA is done in QA environment, dev is done in dev environment. Like this, everybody have their own environments. Okay, and everybody, when they have their own environments, they have their own URLs. Okay, they have their own URLs. Okay, for this demo kicker, okay, performance testing environment could have a demo kicker. What was the environment? Copy paste. Okay, that's not what it is. Okay, hang on. Okay, so this was the URL. Okay, so okay, so if it was a performance testing environment, maybe the server name could be perfdemo.kicker underscore hyphen monitoring.net. Okay, if it was a pre-production, the URL could be something like this. Okay, pprod demo kicker monitoring.net. If it was a QA environment, okay, the server name could be, it totally depends upon how they name the environment, or how they name the URL, or how they name the server name. Okay, so it's totally up to them how they name it. Okay, so maybe let's assume that, for performance testing it's perfdemo.kicker hyphen monitoring.net, for a pre-production pp demo, for QA demo, and dev demo. Okay, so for example, when you started scripting, let's say the performance testing environment is not ready. Okay, is not ready. Okay, so just that the performance testing environment is not ready, it should not stop you from creating the scripts. Okay, it should not stop you from creating the scripts. Your manager or lead will say that, okay, use the QA environment and start creating the scripts, and when the performance testing environment is there, you can change the scripts accordingly. So you took the QA environment and start creating the scripts, and in all your scripts, the server name will be QA-demokicker.net. Okay, demokicker-monitoring.net. So it will be recorded when you start creating the scripts. This is what will be recorded for your QA environment. So your scripts will work fine as long as you are running the scripts in QA environment. Okay, but at some point of time, the performance testing environment will be ready, and this is what the name that they have given. Okay, so at that point of time, you need not have to re-record the scripts. At that point of time, you need not have to re-record the scripts. So if you would have created a variable and given the server name to it, okay, if you have created a variable called URL and appropriately you put the URL in every single sampler, okay, and given the value, let's assume that this is what for the QA. When the performance testing environment is ready, and this is what the URL, or this is what the server name that they have given, all you have to change is, you need not have to go to each sampler and change the server name. At one place you change the server name, at one place you change the server name. Your script now works in performance testing environment. Okay, whatever the script that you have created in the QA environment, Okay, so let's say the QA environment, this is what the URL that you have recorded with. So now you have used the variable and then appropriately made the changes. Okay, now at one place you change the server name. Your script now, which was working for QA, will work for performance testing environment as well. Okay, are we okay, guys? All of you, are we clear, all of you, as to I have uh, why I have made the server name as a variable? All of you guys, have you understood it? So this is what typically every single guy would do it, I mean, in the real world. Okay, so it's just that we create a variable and assign the server name to it. Okay, so I'm just telling you where you create these global variables, guys. This is one place definitely a global variable will be created. Okay, Raghavendra said, give me one more example. Not a big deal, guys. Let's see. Okay, username is there. Okay, J2E, password is J2E. Okay, this is in case you haven't chosen not to parameterize it. Okay, let's say for all the scripts you want the same username and password. Maybe there is no requirement to parameterize. Let's assume in your script. Okay, then what you can do is, instead of having this username and password, okay, as the hard coded values, or hard coded value means the script now will work only with J2EE and password is J2EE. Okay, and this username password may be repeated at multiple scripts. Maybe you have created one more script called here purchase the product, right? Maybe there is one more script called cancel the order. Even for canceling the order, you have to log in, right? So at multiple places, this username and password could be there. Okay, at multiple places, this username and password could be there. So in purchase a product, it is there. And let me create one more script. Okay, thread group. Okay, let's say this is for cancel the order. Okay, cancel the order. Again, here also for canceling the order, first we need to log in and cancel the order. So definitely when we record the script for canceling the order, definitely the username password will be captured. Like this, there are 10 scripts. In 10 scripts, the username password is there. Okay, now it is better to run this username and password from the variable, because in case at the later point of time the username and password or the password is changed, because every 1 month or 2 months, usually there will be, I mean, if it's a good application, typically for 3 months, they will push you to change the password. Okay, or for some reason that username password is not working anymore and you have to change it, then you have to go to each and every script. Okay, you have to go to, let's say there are 10 scripts, and all the 10 scripts there is username passwords. So you have to go to each and every scripts and then identify the username and password and change it. Rather than that, when you create the script itself, you drive the username and password from user defined variables, then at one place you can change the username and password. For example, username is a variable, and what is the value for the username? J2EE. Okay, and also password is the global variable you have created, and password in this case is J2EE. Now you see username. Okay, and okay, so this is how you can use the username and then the password. And this is what everybody, almost every single script you see this, guys. I'm not cooking up or anything. Okay, you go and look at any fully I mean professional script. These are some things people take care of it. Okay, because you never know, at some point of time the username and password is changed, and you have to go and each and every script, wherever the username password is there, you have to go and change it. Let's say you're using this script 1 year from now. Okay, this is a project which is going for years together, and 1 year from now the username password is changed. Now you don't even remember where all the username passwords is there in your scripts. So you have to go look at each sampler, and then you need to micromanage. I mean, there is a lot of efforts if username password is changed. But when you're creating the scripts itself, you're driving it from the variables. Okay, and at one place you come to user defined variables and you change the values here at one place. If the URL is changed, just change it over here. You need not have to worry changing it elsewhere. Username is changed, change it in one place here. Don't worry about anywhere else. Let's say the username is repeated 10 times, automatically it will be taken care of. and same with the password. Like this, there are some values that you can derive from user defined variables, which might not change from execution to execution, but might change at some point of time in the future. So you can create a global variables and you can use it like this. Are we clear, guys? So 10 stitch, so demo kicker URL is working for real-time work. 10 stitch, I mean, I didn't get that point. Okay, maybe you can unmute yourself and ask. This is just a dummy application, demo kicker, which is a dummy application which we are using for performance. I mean, just for our purpose we are using. This is demo kicker is not our application from us. So it's just a demo application is there which anybody in the world can use it. So we are using it for our for learning Jmeter. Okay. Okay. So, but in the real world, you have your own application. Maybe it's a banking application that you're doing a performance testing on, or maybe it's an insurance application. We don't know. Once you get into your project, you would know what the application is. Okay. Then, URL will change it from different environments. So QA will have one URL or server name, or development will have one environment. Everybody will have their own environments, which means that everybody will have their own URLs. So you don't do scripts for any other environment unless your manager asks you to do temporarily in order not to stop your work. They might say, okay, use a QA environment to create your scripts or a pre-prod environment to create the scripts because the performance testing environment is not ready. So that's when you will start creating the scripts, and then the URL will change a little bit for different environments. Okay. Wonderful, guys. Okay, wonderful. Okay. Okay. For example, you see here, this is what is when you are purchasing a fish. When you are purchasing a fish, this is the sampler in which you are giving the credit card number, expiry date, first name, last name, address, okay, billing state, and all this information over here. Okay. So for example, the credit card number is there. Okay. So it is supposed to, it cannot be same for all of them. Okay. This credit card number is supposed to change from iteration to iteration, user to user. Maybe you can generate a random number which is of 16 digits and then use that random number over here. So like this, we can use these functions, guys. You see, so you can generate a random number. Okay, you can generate a random number which is of 16 digits. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. Okay, generate and copy, and then you can use that random number over here. You can use that random number over here so that it will generate a 16-digit random number and use it for the credit card. Okay, so expiry date also you can create a random number for the date. Okay, let me see how can we create a random date. Okay. Okay, a random date is there. You can create this function so that a random date will be generated. Okay, so formatted string for date formatter. Okay, default is, by default it will be created in -mm-dd. Okay, but what is the format I have to create? This is the month and this is the year, I believe. Is that so, guys? So what is 12 and what is 03 expiry date? This is the month and this is the year, I believe. Is it so, guys? Can somebody please help me out here? This is the date. This is the date and month, or it should be a year. It cannot be a date. It should be a month and the year, I think. If this is the year, this is the month, or if this is the month, this is the year. Okay, let me look at the application as to how the date format is there. Okay. Okay. So if you're buying a fish, okay. So if you're buying a fish, okay. So expiry date is MM and it's YYYY. So even though you have given MM and YY also, it's working, but it should be MM YYYY. Okay. So the format is month and year. Okay. this is how the format should be. First is 2 digits is month, then a forward slash, and 4 digits will be year. So in those lines we have to create. Okay, so first is month is mm with a capital M and capital 1, and you want an hyphen, and a year, okay, it is YYYY. Okay, so that's how you have to generate YYYY. And in the format, you cannot use a capital Y, guys. It has to be small y. Okay, when you give a format for the date, capital M stands for month. Okay, so MM stands for 2 digits of month, and you want a forward slash and 4 digits per year, YYYY. If you want minutes and hours, usually you want, let's say, you want a date which has the time as well. So HH stands for hour. Okay, small mm stands for minutes. Okay, SS, capital SS stands for seconds, and then let's say space, and DD stands for date. Okay, and then MM stands for month, and YY stands for year. So I don't want an hour here, I don't want minutes, I don't want seconds, I don't want date. All I want is month and a year. Okay, okay, you can give an option start date, no, end date also you can give an optional. You need not have to give any end date. So if you generate, okay, you see random date. Okay, so this is how a random date will be generated. First is month, and then is year. Okay. Oh, end date we have to give as a mandatory. It's not an optional, looks like. Okay, so there are optional fields. Okay, name of the variable in which you have to store, but end date looks like we have to give some end date. Okay, let me give one end date, maybe 12 to 22 2000. Okay, let's say 2000, it's 20, right? So 2030 is what I'll give. Okay, a random date will be generated from now. You see, if you don't give any value, it will start taking it from now. Okay, and this is the end date. A random date will be generated from now, between now and 2030. Okay, between now and 2030. You see, if I say generate and copy, you should be able to see the value over here. If you're not able to see the value over here, then you have done some mistake over here. So you see, if I haven't given an end date, and if I say generate, this field is empty, which means that either you have given something wrong here, or whatever is required you haven't given here. So you see, this is optional, which means that you need not have to give, and by default it will start taking the date from today, but end date is not optional. So you're supposed to give it. Since you have missed this, so there is no value that is getting generated. And end date also you have to give in the same format. You have to give in the same format. Let's say the month is December, 2030 is the end date, okay, that you are giving, which means that a random date between now and December 2030 will be generated. Now you say generate and copy, a date will be generated here, which means that what you have given, what all the values that are required, you have given here. Okay, now you see, as I click on generate, this date is changing. You see, 5th month 2033 is generated. 1st month 2021 is generated. Okay, you wanted to generate, you want to have a date as well. Let's assume here I don't want a date because the format is such that I have month and year. Okay, but let's say I want the date as well. So you put DD and hyphen, and then you say generate. Okay, and here also you give the DD. Let's say 01. Oh, it's not capital DD. Oh, it's not capital. You see, it should be small dd, guys. So since you haven't given the format correctly, it is not able to generate it. So it's a small dd. Now you see, with a random date will be generated. A random date will be generated, but a date is also there. Okay, date is also there. This is date. This is month. This is year. Okay, or you can have, if it's in US, it will be month. Okay, and dd. Okay, now you see, this is a month, this is a date, this is a year. Okay, so that's how you can generate. If you want hours, minutes and seconds as well, you can generate that as well. You should be able to add it here. Okay, now the format is such that I need not have to generate the date, so it's only month. Okay, so now I'm able to see the values, which means that whatever this function that is created, it is good to go. Now I can use this function over here. Are we clear, guys? Now you got a hold of how to use these functions.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, this one, how the validation will affect this kind of scenarios, Kumar? Like a particular credit card number having particular CVV and a particular expiry date as well as OTP also, how they can validate using all these things?
Then you have to parameterize it. So if there are
Okay.
validations are happening, if the credit card is correct or not, and the CVV number is, and then you have to have the corresponding CVV and all that, corresponding expiry date. If those are validations are happening, then I would say that you have to parameterize it. You can't generate a random number, random date like this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, here we are assuming that the application is not doing any validation on the credit card or the expiry date. Okay, whatever
Like
you
in current scenario, it's working like a simulators, right? Whatever
yes,
the credit card number and whatever the expiry date and whatever the CVV, it will allows.
yeah. So server is not doing any validations on the credit card number or expiry date or the CVV numbers. Okay, if it is doing the validation, okay, on the back end, then you cannot generate any random number and you cannot generate any random expiry date. Okay, then you have to parameterize it, and it can take only certain credit cards and certain expiry dates, and that's how it happens. Okay, maybe usually when they deploy the code on performance testing, I have seen that generally they might not do validations on the credit cards, to be honest, guys. Okay, so that's what I've seen. But what you told is absolutely right, Raghavendra. In case if the validations are happening, then definitely you cannot generate any random number like that. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to parameterize in that case. Okay. So can I proceed further, guys? Can I proceed further? All of you? Okay. So since there are very less crowd, guys, so I will try to wrap up the class as I've told you a little early. Now around 8:30 India time, maybe half an hour from now, expect the class to get done, guys. Okay. Now one more thing. Okay, I have sent the script, and did you try opening the script, whatever I have sent you guys, this random script? Did you try opening, all of you, on your Jmeter? Did you try opening? Okay, I'm asking you, all of you guys. So Anil said yes, Narendra said yes. What about others? So can I expect that you haven't? I mean, were you able to open it when you tried? Were you able to open it? Okay, it's not working, right? It's not working, right? Okay, yeah. So some of you haven't, but whoever have tried it, it's not working. Okay, the reason, okay, it's not working. Wonderful. Well, let's keep that aside. Okay, if you have the Jmeter open, okay, can you go to samplers, and you will not be able to see this sampler, JPGC samplers, which is a dummy sampler. I've used this dummy sampler at a couple of places. Okay, I've used this dummy sampler over here, and then I've used the dummy sampler elsewhere as well. I've used the dummy sampler over here. So the couple of places I've used the dummy sampler, and if you go back and if you're practicing whatever I've been telling in the class, you will not be able to see this dummy sampler at all. I mean, for you. Okay, can you check quickly on your Jmeters if Jmeter is open? Okay, you'll not be able to see this JPGC dummy sampler. Okay, so Kumar, how did you get that JPGC dummy sampler? Okay, how you are able to see? I mean, I'm not able to see it, and on your Jmeter, you're able to see it. How is it possible? Okay, so guys, whatever the Jmeter that came, okay, I mean, as I've installed, this JPGC sampler is not there for me as well. Okay, it's not only for you, it's not there for me as well. So to get this dummy sampler, what is that we have to do? Okay, what is that we have to do? Okay, so we have to install something called plugin manager. Okay, we have to install something called what? Plugin manager. Okay, watch carefully, guys. Here we are discussing, I mean, the whole idea of the class is to discuss about the controllers. Okay, but during the controllers we have brought a concept called variables. So we have deviated the class a little bit, but these variables are very, very important. Okay, let's spend as much time as possible over here before we move back to the controllers. Okay, before we move back to the controllers. So how you, Kumar, how you are able to see this JPGC sampler, which I am not able to see it on my Jmeter. I am able to see this JPGC sampler because I have installed this dummy sampler, which is not there, which is by default it is not there with Jmeter. Okay, so first I have to install the plugin manager, then I have to install this JPGC, okay, JPGC dummy sampler. Okay, then I have to install this, or add this plugin called, then I have to add this plugin. Okay, this JPGC dummy sampler is actually a plugin. Okay, by default with Jmeter it doesn't come out JPGC. Okay, by default it does not come with the Jmeter. Okay, you have to install this plugin. But Kumar, how do I install the plugin? Chrome, I know how to install the plugin. Okay, Chrome, I know how to install the plugin. You go to extensions. Okay, you go to more tools and extensions, and from here, I can install these plugins. You see, so many plugins are there already. Okay, these extensions or plugins. So some people call this as plugins, some people call it as extensions. But Chrome, I know how to do it. Okay, so how to add the extensions or plugins. Okay, but in Jmeter, how do we do it, Kumar? Okay, so as you see, if you have used some plugins or extensions on Chrome, okay, what they are doing with that, whatever the capabilities of Chrome is there, capabilities of Chrome browser, okay, by adding these extensions or plugins, what we are doing, we are enhancing these capabilities. Right? We are enhancing these capabilities. Okay, for example, recently, okay, I have just, okay, people, one of the student has asked me, okay, that, Kumar, whatever the videos that you provide us, okay, so Kumar, whatever the videos that you provide us, come on guys, one second. Okay, so Kumar, whatever the videos that you provide, okay, so this is what the question the person has asked, videos that you provide, and it is very slow for me. I wanted to watch these videos in a fast forward mode. One of the student has asked. So by default, Vimeo will not allow you to play in a fast forward mode. Okay, so what I have told them is, install a Chrome extension or plugin. Okay, Chrome extension or a plugin. Okay, hang on guys, one second. Okay, install. I've advised them to what do you see? Okay, I've advised them to install this plugin. What is that? Vimeo repeat and speed. Okay, so this has added some additional feature to my Chrome browser. So since I have added this extension. Now the student, okay, is able to play back this video at a speed rate. Okay, now you can provide the speed. Okay, now you can provide the speed. The video will be played at a faster rate now with a 2x speed. Okay, so by default, you see, but what is the condition? Whatever is the condition, so you see how fast it is going. So by default that was not there, but now I have added an extension. Now there is a feature that is added. Okay, so I have enhanced the capabilities of Chrome by adding certain features or adding certain plugins or extensions. Similarly, Jmeter comes with certain capabilities, but I wanted to, and you feel that these capabilities or the features the default Jmeter is providing is not good enough for me. I need some additional features. I need some extra, when I wanted to do some extra work. Okay, so I need some additional features. Okay, which is Jmeter is not. The basic Jmeter is not providing me. In that case, I needed to add the plugins. For example, by default, dummy sampler is not available, but I wanted to use a dummy sampler, which, as the name suggests, it's dummy, it doesn't do anything. Okay, so I wanted this. So by default, it's not coming. So what you do is you add this plugin. Okay, some other guy has created this and made it as a plugin. Okay, so you can add this plugin. So first, to add the plugins, you have to install the plugin manager, again which doesn't come in default. Okay, so first you add the plugin manager, and then from the plugin manager there are hell number of plugins, so you can add whatever the plugin that is required, you can add that plugin. Okay, first I'm going to show you how to install the plugin manager, and from there I'm going to show you how to install the JPGC dummy manager. Okay, first, my plugin manager is already installed, so I'll go ahead and take away this plugin manager. Okay, my plugin manager is already added to my Jmeter. How do I know that the plugin manager is already added? If you see this symbol here, you highlight here plugin manager. Okay, so if you see this symbol, for you it will not be showing up for you. Okay, so if you're seeing this, then definitely you have the plugin manager already installed. So since it's not there for you, you have to go ahead and install. First, I'll go ahead and uninstall or take it away and then add it. Okay. So watch carefully how I'm taking it away. First, I'll go to the folder in which my Apache Jmeter is there. Okay. So you see Apache Jmeter 5.2.1 is there. I went to that folder. Usually you go to the bin folder and you invoke the Apache Jmeter from the bin folder. But here you have to go to the library files. Where do you go to? You go to the library files, and in the library files there is one library I have added. Let me figure out what is that library. What is that library? Okay, sorry. It's in the library files, but you go to the extensions in the library files. You go to the extensions, and in the extensions you see Jmeter plugin manager. Okay, so just to go ahead and delete this, and this is okay. My Jmeter is already, if my Jmeter is running, that's the reason why it is not allowing me to delete it. So what I will do is I'll save the existing script and then just go ahead and close the Jmeter. Now I'll go ahead and delete it. And you see this piece of code is for the dummy sampler. I'll go ahead and delete it as well. Okay. Now you see this is how usually these are the extensions that by default the Jmeter comes with. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and invoke the Jmeter. Now this time around you will not be able to see the plugin manager. You see that extra button is there which is for the plugin manager. I'm not able to see it. Now my Jmeter is exactly the way it is for you. Now we will go ahead and add the plugin manager. Go online, okay, and then just say download plugin manager for Jmeter, and go to this website which is jmeter-plugin.org. Okay, this is an official website from the Jmeter itself. Okay, so you see online JMX editor. Oh, it is there, online JMX editor, wonderful. Okay, so now here you see you can observe the catalog of plugins here, but there should be download plugin manager somewhere here. Okay, so if you want to use the plugin manager, please read the guide here. Okay, so where is, did I say plugin manager or did I say download plugin manager? Okay, so you see here it says this is the link. You see download plugin managers, and this is jmeter-plugins.org. Okay, so from here you can download the plugins. Okay, yeah, so consider using the plugin manager. You see here, click on this plugin manager. Okay, where is this download? Okay, just now recently I've downloaded it. Extra library. I think plugin manager standard 1.4.zip. Is that the one? Okay, did anybody downloaded the plugin manager, guys? I think this is where it is, but I'm not able to. Just recently I have downloaded it. I think it is this link here. Maybe we'll try to download that one. But I didn't downloaded a zipped version. You see, this is what I've downloaded recently. Okay, but this is what is there. Okay, so let me unzip it. Maybe it's there inside this particular zip folder. Okay, extract. library extensions. Do you see anything called plugin manager here? Plugins, Jmeter plugin standard? No. Okay. So this is not the folder. Okay. I've downloaded this, guys. You know, you see Jmeter plugin manager 1.3. I've downloaded that, but not able to. Not able to find it now. Okay. Uh,
Hi, Kumar.
download. Yeah, yeah, Anil. So which
Yeah,
link is it?
yeah, I think it's the jar file we need to do, you know, like when you
Right. You see here,
the
guys. So download
installation
Jmeter
and
plugin
request,
manager. You can download it from here, I believe.
yeah,
Okay.
installation and yeah,
Yeah. I wanted to download from the official file, to be honest. Official
yeah,
website.
yeah,
Okay.
from the official website, when you go down, you know, I just saw it, yeah.
Oh, you just saw it? Okay, but I've already downloaded. Let's see what's there here.
Okay.
Then again, you try to see it from the official website. Okay.
Sure.
So extract here. Okay, jar files, and then oh, this is not what it is. Is it? Hang on, guys, 1 second. Just go to modified. Okay. Jar file here. Let me extract. Let me see what's there inside this. Oh, there's something else is there altogether. Okay, it's a bunch of plugins are there. Okay, so
Kumar, you can use this particular plugin, whatever the URLs which you have ping it in the chart.
okay, but I wanted to show you how to download this. I've already downloaded yesterday.
If you click on that particular URL, then automatically, it will show the plugin manager. Yeah,
Oh,
just click on that.
okay. You see, download plugin manager. I mean, how did I miss the first time around? This is straightforward. You see, download plugin manager dart and put it in library ext directory, then restart the Jmeter. Clearly, it's given. I mean, how did I miss this? Okay. You see, this is what it is. Okay. So it can say this can harm your file because it's a jar file. It's a program. So it just say keep. Okay. And then show all. Okay. It gets downloaded. You see, plugin manager Jmeter plugins manager 1.3. Okay, the version is 1.3. You see here, since I have already downloaded 2 times earlier, it is doing -2, but usually it doesn't show this, this 2 over here in the braces. Okay, so this is what it is, guys. So here is the link. I'll send you the link, all of you. Okay, and you have to download. And once you have downloaded, where you are supposed to put? In the library, in the extensions. After putting in this directory, what you have to do? You have to restart the Jmeter. Instructions are clearly given here, guys. Just follow the instructions. Okay. Oh, sorry, you have been giving me this. Oh my God, I'm missing it. So sorry, guys. Narendra has already given. Anil, you have already given. Okay, I'm not even checking the chat window. So sorry about it. Okay, guys. So Narendra, Anil, I've already put down. I already put the URL. Okay, and I've also put the URL in the chat window. Please take it from there. Okay. So once you download it, it should be there in your downloads, and this is how it should look like. You see, plugins manager 1.0. Okay, so now copy this, okay, copy this, and what is the instructions that is given by the Jmeter folks? Okay, you put it in the library and the extension folder. Okay, so go back there. Okay, go back to the library. Okay, so go back to not the bin folder, the library folder, and here in the extensions folder, and just paste that one. Just paste that one. Okay, wonderful, guys. So I have pasted it. Now I expect the plugin manager to be here. Okay, I don't see the plugin manager, guys. You see, I've already added the jar which is required for the plugin manager, and I've already put it in the right folder with the guys have asking me to do it. I've already put it, but still I'm not able to see the plugin manager. What could be the reason, guys? What could be the reason? All of you?
Need to restart it again.
Wonderful. You have to restart it because clearly the instructions are given. What is there? Then restart the Jmeter. Okay. So I'll go ahead and restart it. Go ahead and restart it. Okay. Now, like magic, you will be able to see the plugin manager. Wonderful. Okay. I have added the plugin manager. Okay. Now I have I'll add a thread group. Now I should be able to see the JPGC dummy sampler, but still I am not able to see the JPGC dummy sampler. What could be the reason, guys? As you have asked me, Kumar, I have already installed the plugin manager. But still, I am not able to see the JPGC sampler, JPGC Jummy sampler. Why? Because you have to add the plugin. Okay, from the plugin manager, you have to add the plugin. So how do I add this plugin called JPGC Dummy Sampler? Okay, just open this plugin manager. You see Jmeter plugin manager. Now you see in the available plugins, search for dummy, and you see dummy sampler will come up. Now put a, okay, select it, and at the bottom, okay, right at the bottom, okay, on the right hand side, you see apply changes and restart Jmeter. You select the dummy sampler and you say apply changes and restart the Jmeter. You see, these are test items that have not been, you wish to save it, no, okay. So now you have applied, so you have installed that plugin called dummy sampler now, okay. You install the plugin called dummy sampler. Now you add the thread group. Inside the thread group, if you see sampler, now you'll be able to see the JPGC dummy sampler. So first you have to install the plugin manager, then you have to install the required plugins. Right now I have only installed one plugin called JPGC dummy sampler. As I proceed further, there are a bunch of plugins that we add. Okay, there's a bunch of plugins that we continue to add as we proceed further. Okay, so for executing the threads, right now we are adding a simple thread group. Okay, we are adding a simple thread group. Okay, later on I'll add multiple different kinds of thread groups. Okay, so different kinds of thread groups you can get it from the plugin manager. Okay, then different kinds of CSV config files that we can get. There's a bunch of things that we can get. Others I will leave it for you to explore. Okay, as we proceed further, we can do it. Okay, so are we clear, guys, how to install the plugin manager and also how to install the how to get your plugins? All of you clear? Okay, so there's a lot of people are leaving the class, maybe it's a weekend and all that. I do understand. Okay, let's cover one simple topic and we will leave for the day today, guys. Okay, so one thing is, yesterday when we are discussing, okay, we have created a random number. I've told you that there are two ways of creating the random number. One is using the Jmeter functions, which I've already told you. And what is the other way, Kumar? What is the other way of creating the random number? Okay, wonderful. Don't worry, I'm going to show you, but let me open my random script. Okay, now you wanted to create a random number. Let me go to the purchase a product script. Okay, so now okay, so here in the config elements, if you pay attention, okay, there is something called random variables. You just click on this one. Okay, just click here and then random variables. Variable name, I'll give it as rand. Okay, and this is from config element, so I'll just say rand config. Okay, since this element come from config element, as you can see here, where did I get it from? Come from the config element. I'm using this random variable. Okay, from the config element. So I'll give a name called random config. Okay, random config. What is the minimum value? Let's say 1. What is the maximum value? Let's say 10. Okay, per user you wanted to generate the random number, or for overall you wanted to, you can decide. Okay, so you can decide. Now a random variable will be created, and then we can use this random variable. Okay, so you can use anywhere, maybe in the switch controller, or maybe you can use it here if you want. Okay, let me execute this one. Okay, this is a okay. Disable this, so it will not execute the script, it will only execute purchase the product script. And let's look at the debug sampler to see the values which are there in random config. Okay, I wanted to see the values of random config. Where can I see it, guys? Can I see it in the view results tree? Guys? Okay, or do I have to add something else? If I wanted to see the values in the random config, where will I be able to see it? From the view results tree, can I see it, guys? Or the debug sampler? Where do you advise me to see if I wanted to see the values? Okay, option 1 view results tree, option 2 debug sampler. Where do you want me to look at? Option 1 or 2? Quickly, all of you. There are 11 students. Okay, we are wrapping up, guys. Okay, option 1 in the view results tree, option 2 in the debug sampler. Where would you want me to look at the values which are there in the random config? Option 2. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and run it. Okay, I wanted to look at the values of random config. Okay, now you see for the first iteration a random number 2 is generated. How many iterations we are executing here? Only one iteration. Okay, let's execute for 10 iterations. Okay, let's execute for 10 iterations. Let's see what are the values which will be generated for each iteration. Okay, so the variable name that I'm interested in is random config. Okay, you see random config. Where is the random config? Username, random config. For the first iteration, 4 is generated. Second iteration, 7. Okay, third iteration, 7. Then 5. Then 2. Okay, then 8. Okay, then 6. Then 9. Okay, then 6, and then 2. Okay, so like this different random variables will be generated. You can use this config element as well, which is the random variable config element is there. You can use it as well. Okay, you can use it as well. You can play around. Okay, get some help for this. What is this seed for rand function output format? Okay, you can play around to see, like, what is this formatting and all that. You can play around. If you want any help on anything, guys, just go to this help. Click over here. Okay, it will go to a website, and over here you can get help on a particular topic. Let's say I want to get help on random variable. Okay, go ahead, go to the top of it. This is what I will do. Okay, so go to the top of it, top of this help. Okay, go to the top. Okay, and here just to say Control F, and then let's say random. Okay, so you see random variable is there. Click on that one and it will tell you the help. It will give you all the help that is required. Okay, so variable name, output format, and all that you can play around. You see, output format you wanted it to be user underscore 000. So how it will be generated? User underscore 001, user underscore 00200, user underscore 003. That's how it will be created. And you can see what is this per seed, random seed. The seed for the random number generated, if you use same seed value with per thread set to true, you can get the same option value for each thread as a random class. If no seed is select, default constructor for random will be generated. You can play around as to what this seed is. Okay, and you can get the form and you can get the feel for it. Okay, now I'll give you a different format, and let's play around with the format as I said. Okay, format, I said you're using this for generating the username, and you said user underscore 000. Okay, let's say 00 is what I give. So now let's see how the output value that is generated for random config, how it will be generated. Watch carefully, guys. Okay. Okay, so what I am expecting is, okay, before I run it, I am expecting that the output value will be something like user underscore 01, okay, user underscore 02, like this. Different values will be generated. Okay, different values will be generated. Okay, like this user 01, 02, 03, 04, 05 until what? Until 10. Okay, that's what it is. So let's see. Okay, so random config, you see 08 is generated. Okay, 01 is generated. User underscore 01, user underscore 06, user underscore 07. Okay, user underscore 06. Okay, user underscore 04. Like this, a random number will be generated based on the format that you have given. Okay, so not only this, if any format you can give. Okay, any format you can give. Wonderful. Okay, and also you can go, and then now I've shown you how to get the help as well. So there's so much help over here. Looking at the help, you can play around, and they're clear. You see it's simpler than using the user defined variables together with random function. Okay, so it's clearly saying that I've been showing you how to use the random function with the user defined variables. Now they are showing you how to directly use it. Okay, so like this you can play around, and for each function they will give you the help. You can play around. You understand what each function will do, where they are used in the real world, how they are used in the real world. You can see. Okay, like this. Okay, so this helped. I mean, I learned all of my Jmeter with this user manual, to be honest, guys. I got the power of the Jmeter tool just by going through this user manual. Okay, initially I watched some YouTube videos to get a hang of it as to how it works. Later on, I understood the complete power of Jmeter just by going through this user manual, guys. That's how powerful it is. That's how powerful this user manual is. So there is so much that you can use with the, you can do with the Jmeter, just with the vanilla Jmeter, or just without writing a single line of code, without writing a single line of program. There is so much that you can do with this Jmeter, but you just have to play around, go through this user manual and explore each and every function to its core. I mean, spend a lot of time exploring each and every function. Okay, and it's fun, guys. It's a lot of fun, I'm telling you. Okay, more and more you learn Jmeter, more and more confident you become, and it's so easy to crack the interviews. There are very few Jmeter experts out there who knows in and out of Jmeter. Okay, and you have explored every option which is available over here, to be honest, or most of the options which are available here. Okay, you can talk about that in the interviews, and you can easily crack the interviews. Easily crack the interviews. Okay, so on that note, I'll stop today's test, today's class, guys. Okay, so tomorrow when I come back, not tomorrow, tomorrow is a Sunday, so day after tomorrow when I come back, so we will talk about the loop controller, jump into the timers. Okay, so by the end of next week, maybe we'll try to complete the parameterization, guys. Okay, try to complete the parameterization. Okay, if you, all of you are coming in the Christmas weekend as well, then we can do a whole lot, but you're taking off on the Christmas, then we need to figure out. Okay, so it might extend, maybe by 7th is what I'm trying to wrap up the Jmeter, guys. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so any questions? People stay back. Okay, else we are done with the class, guys. Okay, so thank you, guys. Thank you, and yeah, good morning, good night for everybody who is in US, and good morning for everybody who is in India. So have a wonderful day, guys, ahead. Okay, and please do practice, play around. Okay, a lot of blogs are there. Okay, open any blog, and with the kind of knowledge that I've given, now you can do a whole lot. Okay, now you've got an overall idea as to how the Jmeter works. Okay, now you should be able to see, and whatever's there in the blogs, different blogs, you can open and start implementing this and create your own scripting challenges so that you can speak about it. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you. I expect that there are no questions, so I'm leaving. Bye bye. Take care.